name's Jennifer and I'm here with today's upper and lower body EMOM workout. What does EMOM mean? It means every minute on the minute. So that means we're going to have 6 exercises in our first block. Your first exercise is going to be 16 reverse lunges. You're going to have 1 minute to complete those 16 lunges. If those 16 lunges only take you 20 seconds, then that means you've got a 40-second squat hold. If those 16 lunges take you 30 seconds, then that means you have a 30-second squat hold. All right, so we've got 1 minute to complete those exercises. Any extra time left is going to be in this squat hold. So let's look at our exercises. We've got 16 reverse lunges. So we're going to grab some heavy dumbbells down at our sides. We're stepping back. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so on until you get to 16. As soon as you hit 16, the remaining time on your clock is spent in this squat hold. All right? Exercise number 2, we've got lateral lunges. So giving yourself some space to work, you can go 8 on one side and then 8 on the other, or you can alternate back and forth. It may depend on the space that you've got. So again, dumbbells down at your sides. We're stepping out wide with the right leg. Dumbbells come down, back to the center, and left. So we've got 16 here. As soon as we wrap these up, we're back to that squat hold. So let me show you this squat hold from the side. So my feet are nice and wide. My rear end is back. My knees are not extending out over my toes. So we're really working those quads with these squat holds. All right, exercise number 3. We've got 16 deadlifts. So we're coming back to those heavy dumbbells. Feet are hip width apart. Palms are facing your thighs. Roll those shoulders back. We're going to skim those palms or those weights down the fronts of our legs, squeezing back to the top with those glutes. So we're right here. Squeeze, 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 and down. All right, so 16 deadlifts, then back to that squat hold. Exercise number 4 is a plié squat. So we're hanging on to one dumbbell. Legs go nice and wide. Feet turn out. We're going to focus on those inner thighs. So we're going to drop down. As we drop down, we want to focus on keeping those knees open and pressing up through the heels. So plie, press, plie, press. 16, and then back to your squat hold for the rest of your minute. All right, 2 more exercises. We've got calf raises and hip bridges. So for those calf raises, go ahead and grab your dumbbells. We're just raising up onto our tippy toes and back down. So toes and lower, toes and lower. Nice and controlled. Abs are engaged, glutes are engaged, right here. All right, and our last exercise, we've got those hip bridges. So we're going to come down to our mat. All right, laying all the way flat on our back. Feet are nice and steady and stable base. We're going to lift those hips up so that your body is nice and flat. We're going to drop down, tap that rear on the ground, and back up. So we've got 16 right here. Nice work. All right, last time, finish off that very last squat hold right here, and then we're going in to a 3-minute core blast. All right, here we go. You've got a double crunch to begin with. So you're coming down to the mat. You can use a dumbbell or not, but what we're doing here is arms extending out overhead. Everything is meeting in the center. So if you want to add that dumbbell for some extra resistance, go for it. So you've got 45 seconds on the clock with that double crunch. Then we're moving into an object pass. So, grab a towel, grab a pillow, whatever you've got handy. Nothing too heavy, but you could probably use a 2 or 3 pound dumbbell as well. So again, we're starting out in this position. Feet are meeting our hands and we're passing that object back and forth. If the toes are a little bit difficult, let's pass to our knees right here. So it's a great modification, something everyone can do. All right, guys, exercise number 3, we've got a center plank and then we've got bird dogs. So you know the drill on our planks. We're gonna come on over. You can be on your forearms and your toes. You can come to your hands and your toes, or you can drop to your knees, your choice. But you've got 45 seconds here. Our last one are bird dogs. So this one focuses a little bit more on that back, which is definitely part of the core and super important that it stays nice and strong as well. So we're coming to a tabletop position. Wrists are right underneath those shoulders, knees are underneath our hips, and we're extending our right arm, left leg, hold for a couple of seconds, bring it back to the center, and reverse. So a great core exercise. This works balance, works low back, and of course, our abs. All right, 45 seconds of bird dogs. Now we're headed back to that upper body EMOM. So lower body, we held that squat position. On our upper body EMOM, any time that we've got left in that minute is going to be spent doing, you guessed it, push-ups. So push-ups can be done from your knees or your toes, your choice. But let's go ahead and run through these exercises. So our first exercise is going to be a chest press. So grab those heavy dumbbells. Feet are planted on the floor. And we're bringing those arms up to the center and back down and back up. Once again, you've got 16 of these. As soon as you complete those 16, you're going to roll over and you've got push-ups to finish up your minute. All right, exercise number 2, we've got an overhead pullover. So we're coming back down to this position. We're going to extend that dumbbell overhead. So we're coming from an extended position, pulling that dumbbell right over our chest and back down, slow and controlled, right here. So the nice thing about doing it on the floor is that it helps prevent overextension in that shoulder joint because our dumbbell keeps us from going any further, right? Sometimes if we do this on a bench, this can put a little bit of pressure on that shoulder joint because sometimes we tend to let that dumbbell go down too far. So 16 right here, flip it over, you got push-ups. All right, we're renegade rowing right now. So we're coming back to that plank position. Right here, we're pulling that dumbbell into our pocket and release. So right here, notice my base is nice and wide. By base, I mean my feet. So that when I pull these dumbbells in, my hips are rotating. It's definitely more difficult to have a narrow base. So if that's where you are with this exercise, feel free to move those feet a little bit closer together. Just don't let those hips roll. All right, so we're done with those renegade rows. We're going into bicep curls. You may do these from your knees if this doesn't bother you. We're going to tuck that tailbone under, squeezing those glutes, and we're right here. This makes that transition into those push-ups a little bit quicker. All right, guys. Right here, 16. Now we're moving into tricep dips or kickbacks, your choice. I've got a bench right here, so I'm going to do 16 dips. The further out my feet are, the more difficult this exercise is. So we're right here. Elbows going straight back. 16 dips. All right, last exercise in this block. We've got a front raise to a lateral raise. So we're getting some shoulder work here. And I am going to drop down to lower weight dumbbells. So here we go. We've got 16 front to 16 side. Now notice my dumbbells aren't going any higher than parallel to the ground. All right? So 16 here, nice and steady. If you need to alternate, go for it. All right, guys. Nice job. That upper body block is done. We've got our last core block. We've got a 45-second side plank rotation. We've got a 45-second left side plank rotation, 45 seconds of bicycles, and 45 seconds of penguins. So, let's look at that plank rotation. Coming into a side plank right here. We're coming to this side and back up. So it's a center plank, rotating back to that side. Center, side, center, side. Keeping those hips lifted to the ceiling the entire time. Then you'll switch over to the left side. Bicycles, you're very familiar with these. Hands behind the head, fingertips resting. Opposite shoulder comes to opposite knee. Slow and controlled, those shoulder blades are lifted up off the floor. Just like you're pedaling through wet sand. All right, and penguins are the last one. So we're really working our obliques on this last little core section. So feet, the closer to your rear they are, the easier this exercise is. The further away, the more difficult it is. So we are working to get those fingertips to tap the sides of our shoes. So we're lifting those shoulder blades up, tap, 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 tap. You've got 45 seconds right there. Once you're done with that, you are done with today's workout, guys. Great job. Have an awesome one. I'll see you tomorrow.